Welcome back to MMA Unhinged, and joining us today is Ivana PETROVIĆ. Ivana, how are you, and how are you feeling as we're just over a month out from your fight?
Hello, I'm feeling really good. We just started with our training camp. Either I was training already from the summer. We was working on mistakes I did in my last fight, and when we got the new date and the new girl, we started to study her right away. And yeah, I feel really good and really looking forward to this fight.
Excellent. And before we go any further, thank you for taking the time. You just said that you just started fight camp, so I do appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
No worries. I'm at the
Uh,
gym, so no problem.
Thanks. So you mentioned just talking about training after the summer there. We haven't seen you in the octagon since July of last year. So what was for that? What was the purpose of that delay? Was it were you taking time to focus on yourself? Was it just the luck of the draw of not getting the fights?
uh, to be honest, we wanted to fight right after the fight, but it was not so easy to get a fight. Also, we always want to fight in Europe. We tried that as well, but that is really hard if you're not in rankings. I guess it's really hard to get the fight in Europe. Uh, yeah, it was quite long time for me. I like to fight every 3 4 months, but I had really good time to work on the thing I really need to work on, and yeah, here we go again.
Well, and you talked about in another interview, maybe not being able to show your best in your UFC debut, and you mentioned in particular your striking that you wanted to work on. So, is there anything specifically in your striking that you've been working towards? Is it the timing? Is it just the overall striking? What have you been working on?
Um, to be honest, I think every MMA fighter had a problem because we need to work on anything. I coming from kickboxing, and I always had my reach, and I always believed that my long hands can uh, be enough for any striker in MMA. But and I fell in love in grappling, and I started to work a lot with grappling, and then suddenly my striking is not where it was before, and I know that. I'm honest with myself, and I know that I need to work on my striking. I see myself in my fights that doesn't look really good, and this time I'm really serious about this fight. Uh, I'm going to train like for the world's best fighter, and this time it's time to fix my striking. And of course, I'm working with my grappling, but that's my better side. Last 2 3 years, so hopefully I'm gonna show the best version of myself in the next fight.
Did you feel it was important to work and fix these mistakes now versus when you start to climb the rankings and maybe climb into those top 15 when you really start facing harder and harder and harder competition?
Of course, it's a lot of fighters who doesn't have a good striking, but they have a like they can get a lot of punches, and I think I'm one of those fighters who can just go through that. Either I'm not working on my striking, but why not to be smart and do like good striking in my fights, and show something nice, show that I can strike, because I know I can strike. I know how good I can be in my striking. So yeah, uh, as you said, this time hopefully it's gonna be really like a good fight to watch.
And you're expecting a new version of yourself when you do fight in April. So, what does that look like for you?
um, that looked like Ivana from the gym, Ivana from the sparring, because usually or before fight my last fight in the UFC, I was really good on the sparrings. I did really good, but something happened before the fight, and I'm usually really calm fighter. But this time or last time I was in Stockholm. I didn't used to go to arenas where are not so much audience. It was Apex, obviously, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't get that energy from audience, and it felt like I'm sparring, and I couldn't switch on. I was trying and trying, but it was really hard. So, but this time I know where I'm going. It's Apex again, and it's gonna be okay.
And I mean, there's some fighters that still haven't been able to fight in the Apex yet. Obviously, during the COVID era, that's what they had to do. What was your experience being able to fight in the Apex, being able to hear your coaches, but having to not let the other team hear everything that was going on?
To be honest, I didn't hear my coaches so much. I hear Luana's coaches. I hear Michael Bisping. I hear everything that I didn't need to hear. People commentating the fight on the audience, so you can hear really everything. But we are also working on it. That I'm going to this time. I just gonna hear my corner and not focus on the thing around the cage because it was really funny feeling that you can hear everything. And yeah, first time in Apex is not so easy.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And another thing I wanted to bring up is Orion Fight Academy. Talk a little bit about how that kind of came together and what prompted you to make that decision to own a gym.
That's my husband who is owning the gym. I'm helping him.
Co-owner, let's say that.
Of course, I have amateurs and I have box and burn and all that thing that I'm like capable of doing, but I'm not best coach in the world. I'm not good coach at all, I think. But my husband and his brother are really good coaches, and we were always going to another gyms. We didn't have MMA gym in our town, so I was traveling to Larvik, like that's 30 minutes from my town, and then I was traveling to Oslo, that's 1.5 hours from our town. So it was always really hard, and I remember I was sleeping at the couch of my manager, and training there all the time, no social life. It was really hard period for us. And then after some time, we got some money. We decided we opened our own gym, and it's really nice. People who are coming there, everyone are happy. We have more and more people. We're gonna probably move to another bigger space soon. So yeah, I think this was really good decision for me and for the whole team.
Excellent. And speaking of training, I saw you got a chance to train with fellow Croatian Mirko Cro Cop. Talk a little bit about how that experience was now and how it was back in 2014.
So back in 2014, I just trained kickboxing. I was just amateur, and he made like birthday seminar for random people, so you could just commentate on Facebook. And at the end, it was like 100 comments, but he just choose maybe 50 people from there, and I was chosen one. And then I met him. I always like Mirko Cro Cop. I was watching the fight with my dad when I was a little girl, and he was actually one of the reasons why I started with MMA. And I remember that time it was not just Mirko Cro Cop. It was a lot of good fighters from Croatia there, or like talented fighters, and I wanted to be like them. And it was a really nice experience. And then 10 years later, I'm at his gym, and he wanted really to help me. He gave me really good advices, and he said that I can come again after my fight and train with him for a few weeks. So I'm really looking forward to train with him again.
Well, when you watch him fight when you were a kid, and then you get that inspiration to want to be a fighter yourself, did you ever imagine that you were going to be the first female Croatian fighter in the UFC?
Actually, no. I was a girl who didn't have so much confidence in myself. but I always believed in me. Maybe with a small part of me believed in that, but I don't know what to say on that question. But like from the first day when I come to the kickboxing gym, I said to everyone, either it was so funny because I was not someone who looked really good in the start. I said I'm training kickboxing just to go over to MMA and have some background for the MMA. So it was really funny when I think about that times.
And what's the biggest thing you've learned from him since your reunion with him?
With Mirko?
Yes, like what's the biggest thing you've learned since you had that reunion with him?
We were talking about if that's the question, I'm not sure, but we were talking about that is no easy way to this, and I had a really hard way to come here. I was training in Bosnia. We was traveling to Bosnia and Croatia with the car in the night, and we were cutting the weight in the car because we didn't have money for the hotel room, and then we were fighting the next day there without sleep, without anything. And then I talked to Mirko, and he also told me about his hard training life and how he was doing it. I think that's the most important thing. He said it's no shortcuts in this journey. So you just need to work harder than others, and I think that's the main thing if you want to success in this sport.
Of course. And now I want to talk about the fight here. Na Liang, I'm going to butcher her name, but you're going to be fighting her on April 27th. When you look at this opponent, what do you think about her as your opponent? And can you kind of break down this fight for me?
Na Liang, it's really explosive. He's someone who wants to finish the fight. He go really hard in the first round, so I need to be really careful there. She is, or I read somewhere that she's like Chinese Ronda Rousey, so I'm expecting some arm bars in the fights. But I'm really comfortable on the ground, and if she takes me down, I think that's not gonna be a problem for me. I'm not gonna talk about game plan now. I like to talk a lot, but my husband is there, like, and but yeah, Na Liang, it's like I said, really explosive. So I expect some explosive fight. Everything can happen, and yeah.
Well, you kind of talked about what you think you're going to expect, but she's 0-3 in the UFC. I got to imagine that there's a lot of pressure on her. Do you feel like maybe she might either come out very aggressive because she wants that finish and wants to make that statement, or do you feel maybe she might be a little gun shy? If you were in her shoes, how do you think she would be coming out in this fight?
I'm not sure, but if I'm her, I would think either I'm going all in, I'm gonna try just finish this fight, or I'm gonna be smart this time, because she tried that in 3 fights. Like, she was going really hard and trying to finish the fight. So I'm not sure if she's the same fighter like she was these 3 fights she had, or she gonna be like more smart, try to be like more calculated, and maybe think a little bit more in this fight.
And obviously, I'm not going to ask you to share your game plan, but how do you envision yourself finishing this fight with an opponent like her?
Either if we're gonna strike, she gonna really feel my power. I do a lot of boxing, that's what I can say, and either I'm doing with 16 gloves, I know how hard I can punch. But if she wants me on the ground, either she is like jiu-jitsu fighter, she can't be she can be comfortable with me. So either way, up and down, she's on my territory, I think.
And speaking about, I mean, you're just over a month out from the fight. What do you have any plans for when to leave for Las Vegas? And do you have any plans when you get there? Are you going to use the UFC PI?
Actually, this time we are traveling really early. The last time we was there just 12 days before the fight, and I was struggling with jet lag for a long week. I was waking up 4 o'clock every day, and that was really hard. And we decided this time we are going 4 weeks before the fight. Um, we want to train there. We already talked to gym I trained the last time, Syndicate. We really like the gym, and we want to train there again. And they have a few girls there, so really looking forward to be a little bit longer and to train in Las Vegas a little bit earlier this time.
Well, I can only imagine someone like Joanne Wood or someone around that size could really match up with you.
Yeah. It would be perfect.
And speaking about that, your YouTube channel that's been up and running for a couple of years now. Talk about a little bit about what prompted that decision to start a channel.
I have a really good friend of mine, and or my husband's brother have my best friend have a wife who is really good with photography and filming, and she always helped me, and I was not so good with my Instagram account, and then we got some advices from the people around that we maybe can start a YouTube channel. That's the thing, I'm not really into it, but I'm getting help, and I think that can help with my profile, and that's something that it's unfortunately really really important for the fighters today, to show a little bit of yourself, to show like normal life, not just fighting. So that's why we decide to open the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I feel like with a lot of fighters, it's important to kind of show that thrill and agony of every fight, and whether it's in fight camp or it's in the fight itself or post fight. I think it's really good to not just show other fighters, but just fans to know that's what we go through. And I think that's really unique that you and other fighters have done this.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't say that. My husband brother is also good with taking the video. So every time we are fighting somewhere, he is filming me before the fight as well. Because we have out of the cage videos, but we also have from the fights. I forgot that one. And because I'm so concentrated before the fight, I didn't, and I know him so well that I don't even notice that he is filming. But yeah, it's cool to show the people what we are doing before the fight, and they can experience that as well.
And do you plan on doing another fight week in Vegas vlogs?
Probably, yeah, because his brother is going to travel with us, so he's probably gonna film fight week like the last time.
And just lastly, I don't want to take too much more of your time, but do you have any plans for 2024 outside of fighting?
What do you think? What kind of plans? Like,
sorry, do you have plans like after the fight? Do you plan on going straight back home? Do you plan on staying in Vegas for a bit? Do you
We're gonna be a couple of days in Vegas, because last time we traveled right after the fight, but this time we want to experience a little bit of Vegas, and then after that we are heading home. I thought about some competitions. I was just doing some boxing rounds, and they want me to give me one boxing fight after my fight. So I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully I'm gonna do that after my fight. And visit my hometown, maybe talk to Mirko if I can come there and train again. And hopefully I'm gonna get in the end of the summer next UFC fight. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it, but I really want to fight few times this year, not wait so much like we did this time from the summer.
Well, excellent, Ivana. Again, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you on. We really do appreciate you taking the time. And like I said, I don't want to take much more of your time here. So thank you again. And
No,
just good luck on April 27th.
yes, thank you very much.